Good Saturday afternoon. It is September the 30th, 2017, the very last day of September. Welcome to this week's weekly weather briefing, where we are going to be talking about what this week has to offer for us. Right now, temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s, a little bit below average for this time of the year, but afternoon highs are going to top out into the mid to upper 70s, which should be average. Around 77 to 78 degrees is an average high for this time of the year. That's where we will be topping out at for today. So finally knocking our way back down to average, and we're done with those above average temperatures at least for the next day or two. But things are changing as we look into the rest of your work week. Right now, here is the look at as far as precipitation is concerned over the next week. And we'll wait for it to loop around one more time. Starting out today and going in through most of your week, we're going to be looking at fairly dry conditions. Here we go. Here's today. And we move into your Sunday, Monday, and eventually Tuesday. Still that dry regime holding its place in our region. Notice how we begin to see some more green on the map creeping its way towards our region as a possible low pressure center forms in portions of the Great Plains and moves eastward around Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The 12Z GFS run that I just took a look at did not show this low pressure system as far as what this is concerned. This one shows it almost as a cutoff low and shows cooler air coming in behind it, but the 12Z run shows it moving a little bit further north and shows warmer air than what the 6Z this one shows. So we'll have to watch the trends in the models, but right now it does look like we are looking at possibly a cold front coming through around Friday, Saturday time frame. If it comes through, we could be looking at slightly cooler air entering into the region by this upcoming weekend, but it doesn't look like it would be anything as far as cool as it is right now. Now, things could change and get even colder as we go into your second week. Notice how we begin to see these blue thickness lines moving into the southern portion of the United States, and that is going to be indicating more cold air coming into the region. But this is going to be coming in right after a very warm time period. So we're going to have to see, does the warm air try and hold its place and win out over the next couple of weeks, or will it allow this cool shot to come in? Let's take a look. Here's a screenshot of the 500 millibar level for Sunday. Notice how we are looking at ridging taking place right back into the region. So we see this little cool spell coming in right now for the weekend. But once we get into the end of your weekend and the beginning of next week on Monday, we're looking at the ridging already holding its place, already coming right back up into our region. So this was a very transient cool shot. Now we're looking at warmer air to return once we get towards this upcoming week. The first full week of October looks to be well above average. High temperatures every single day next week look to be in the low to mid 80s. So this is going to be anywhere between 5 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year for high and low temperatures. Low temperatures will be right back into the 60s once again. This isn't going to be near as warm as where we were last week in the upper 80s to low 90s and then upper 60s to low 70s for low temperatures, but rather we're going to be looking at temperatures around 5 to 7, 8 degrees cooler than the last heat wave or warm spell that came through. So if I say warm temperatures are coming back, don't think this is a repeat of what happened a week and a half ago. This is going to be just warmer air than what we're seeing right now. Keep in mind, our averages for this time of the year, they are lowering. We are looking at high temperatures on average to be around the upper 70s for this time of the year, whereas a week and a half ago, the average was in the low 80s. So they're lowering. So when we say above average temperatures, depending on how far that deviation is from normal, that doesn't mean it's always going to be 90 degrees every time we get above average. Eventually, above average would mean anywhere between the 60s and 70s once we get into the beginning of winter, the end of fall. Notice how we begin to see that ridge, like I said, amplifying once we get in towards the middle of your week, and we're looking at that western trough to be amplifying again. The deeper this digs, then the more this is going to dig into the eastern United States as far as the ridging is concerned. Going ahead and looking at your upcoming Saturday, this is going to be showing you that cutoff low that the 6Z was showing. I don't think it will be a cutoff low like the 12Z showed, which I'm not showing you right now. It did show it just as a regular area of low pressure moving from west to east, a little bit further north than where this is showing it. We'll have to watch the trends. This is still a week away, but just keep in mind a cold front is possible, and this one does have the potential to bring some raindrops with it. So really the only rain chance that we have this week is towards the end of the work week and into next weekend around the 7th of October. And then we look at the 6Z run of the GFS for next Sunday. Notice how it begins to push those cooler and deeper blues into our region, showing a very big trough moving into the region. I'm still a little bit skeptical about this, but I'm leaning below average for week 2 for October. But right now, it does look like we're going to be looking at maybe that ridge coming right back after this trough moves through. So really, it looks like anywhere in the next couple of weeks, any cool that tries to move in is going to be transient because the ridging is going to win out and try to come back. So make sure that you are welcoming in those cool shots because they won't be lasting long if any of them try to make it into our region. Now, this is something that I'm trying to figure out. Right now, the GFS has been sort of at odds with itself. Notice how it has the trough, a very big trough, and a very big area of cool air moving into the northern and central United States, but at the same time, it is showing a positive NAO, which in my opinion does not equal what this solution is showing. What this is showing is a positive NAO and a deep trough moving into the central and then eventually the eastern United States. Those two do not go together. Usually we look at a negative NAO or Greenland blocking, which is where we would see more of these red and orange colors, where we're seeing the blue right here in Greenland. We would see more orange in this portion of Greenland, and when we see that, we call that Greenland blocking. It equals a negative NAO, which equals cooler and more deeper contours of temperatures as far as deviations from normal in portions of the central and eastern United States. And at the same time, it's showing not a very big ridge in the western United States or even up the western Canadian coast. So this model is at odds with itself, and I'll give you another example. We go even further out into time, around Wednesday the 11th. It has a super strong ridge, a super big Greenland blocking event going on. At that same time, it shows warmer temperatures moving into the central United States. What did I just tell you? I told you that when we look at the Greenland blocking, these red, even pink contours moving into portions of Greenland, we are looking at usually a very big cold and cool air mass moving into this portion of the country for that same time frame. So these are not going to be equaling each other. It also shows a negative PDO, which in the turn would equal warmer temperatures for the United States. So that is going together just perfectly. But right now, we're still going to be watching this. It's mainly the correlation between the Greenland blocking and then what we're looking at in the lower 48. So those two are not really matching up right now. We'll have to keep an eye on it over the next couple of runs. But right now, the GFS looks to be at odds with itself. Either this is correct or this is correct. If this is correct, then cooler temperatures are definitely going to be possible going even further out into time by the time we get to the end of your weekend and then the beginning of next week. But what we are looking at is the same time it's showing this ridging. So if this ends up winning out, then we're looking at warmer temperatures instead of those cooler temperatures. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Here's the temperatures over the next 16 days. Notice this warm spell coming in. Not near as warm as, like I said, as we got a week and a half ago, but we are looking at those low temperatures to be moving back up into the upper 50s to low 60s above average for this time of the year, and low temperatures or rather high temperatures into the low to even mid 80s on some days, but we are looking at a little bit of an increased amount of humidity, not anything near as humid as a week and a half ago. Just make sure that you are aware that a warm spell is coming in for this entire first week of October, and then we are looking at more cooler temperatures and more average for this time of the year by that time, moving in for the middle of October. Low temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Not sure how much this will verify degree by degree, but we are looking at overall warm air this first week of October and then cooler air moving in once we enter into the second week of October. Here's the rainfall over the next week. Any rain that we would get over the next 7 days from now and through next Saturday morning would be associated with that cold front that I said would move through sometime around Friday or Saturday. And that looks like it does have a very small chance of bringing some rain to our region. If it does, it wouldn't be anything heavy, but there is still that chance, and we are very dry right now, so any rain that we get would be very much welcomed. Anyways, that is it for your weekly weather briefing. Hopefully you have a great week. Barbecue on the river tonight. The forecast looks amazing. Make sure you bring a jacket. Cool temperatures moving in right after the sun goes down, because we will be looking at low temperatures tonight, Saturday, the 30th. Low temperatures in the upper 40s for tonight. So temperatures dropping quick right after the sun goes down. Make sure that you keep in tune over the next couple of hours, as I will be posting the October forecast. I have a lot to get through in a short amount of time with that forecast, so make sure that you stay in tune for that so you can expect what we can get over the next month.